Cayman Islands.
For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Caribbean Bakery, made Cayman fresh.
Also brought to you by Ropers Enterprises, 122 Industrial Way. Products and services for better public health. Green Turtle. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today. The Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure, and by West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the Record.
For the Record.
For the record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the Record.
For the Record. For the Record.
Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Ort Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees, so fair. Today is Wednesday, the 19th day of May 2021. I hope and I trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Also, that you enjoyed the long weekend. This is the first show for the Record since last week, Friday. For those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, operating any type of motorized vehicle on the roads, we urge you to please be extremely cautious. Ensure that you observe the rules of the road, and remember, by so doing, the life you save may simply be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, we want to wish you a happy birthday, or if you've celebrated a birthday over the past few days, a belated happy birthday. And I'd like to take this opportunity to wish a belated happy birthday to my sister, Arlene Campbell. Her birthday was yesterday as well. For those of you who have lost loved ones, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you, and we hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these very challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing to you as well. If you are not feeling well today, under the weather, or if you have any serious medical condition which requires you to be at a medical facility or at home, we want to wish for you a speedy recovery as well. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I am your host, Ort Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open, and it is great that we have that beautiful radio voice of Miss Susan Watson back with us. You can call us on our toll-free number provided courtesy of Flo. That toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037 and the 949-6990. Email us at fortherecord, one word, fortherecord@candw.ky. WhatsApp us, 925-3261, where you can send us a text message or leave us a voice note, the contents of which will be played during the course of the show. And, of course, you can follow us on YouTube simply by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream. COVID-19 date that was issued yesterday, the 18th of May, Chief Medical Officer Dr. John Lee reported that 845 COVID-19 tests had been carried out since it was last reported on Friday, the 14th of May. There were 9 positive results in travelers. As of the 14th of May, there have been 73,721 COVID-19 vaccinations given in total in the Cayman Islands. To date, 40,486, which represents 62% of the estimated population, have had at least one dose of a COVID-19 vaccine, and 53% have completed the 2-dose course. And of course, the public health department in the Cayman Islands wishes to thank the Cayman public for continuing to come forward to take up the vaccine before the 9th of June dateline. And I have something else that I will share with you that is taking place this morning as well at the government administration building. I will be sharing that during the course of the show this morning. Meanwhile, it is my pleasure to have in the studio with me again this morning none other than Dr. Steve McFeel. Doc, good morning, sir. Welcome back to For the Record.
Good morning to you, Mr. O.C., the Mr. For the Record, and good morning to all the people for the record land and the people in the Cayman diaspora. And good morning to all your listeners everywhere. It's good to be back again. So it's always good when I get your call and I get your invitation to come. It's one of my favorite places outside of the courts. And I enjoy coming here and enjoy engaging with your listeners and engaging with you and bringing information and education and whatever to the public.
Thank you. Thank you very much for being there with us. Lots of things we want to talk about this morning. I know you have a few things on your mind as well, and we can give a preview of some of the things that you feel warrants discussion.
Yeah, the thing that caught me last night, I think it was, or yesterday, was the headlines about the 2 young ministers in the government engaging the public sector in regards to work and employment in the tourist industry.
Yeah, and I think one of our local online papers has it captioned as "Ministers Press Tourism Sector Over Local Jobs."
Yes, that was the thing that caught me. And I was thinking, and this is my opinion. I'm not speaking on behalf of the ministers at all. This is my opinion. I was wondering, why are the ministers pressing them for jobs for Caymanians? It seems to me that what I saw at the prayer breakfast, the interfaith prayer breakfast, some couple of weeks ago, was that the government was supported by the ordinary people who actually gave them the mandate. They voted for them. They gave them the mandate. They gave them the mandate over the political party. They got the mandate to do whatever they want to do. That's beneficial to the people of the Cayman Islands and for the Cayman Islands on a whole. And I don't understand why they have to be asking the tourist industry to do the right thing, to hire Caymanians. They have the power now. They can pass legislation. There is Section 16 of the Constitution that protects them. And I don't see why they're going out there engaging these people with the view to asking them to hire Caymanians. I remember when Mr. Jim Borden was trying to get the public housing off the ground, and I was on the public housing on a committee. And I remember when he called me the night before, he was having a meeting with all the bankers in the old glass house, and he was asking my support. And that morning they all came. Most all the bankers in Cayman came to the meeting, and he explained to them that he wanted to raise money to building low-income houses for the people who were being left behind in the different districts. And what he had done, he had a gentleman called Alistair Patterson to compile all of the government properties, valued, pictures, photographs, description, and everything, which he said he was going to put up in the banks as collateral to raise money to build the low-income houses for local people. And some of them were very adamant, like, who are you to tell us that we should loan the bank's money to the government to build low-income houses? So people, Mr. Gilbert McLean, if he's listening, he was there. He was the secretary to the board at that time, and they were very adamant. They thought that Mr. Jim was out of his mind, and Mr. Jim simply told them. He said, "Listen, the Unity team has a mandate from the people of this country. The people have voted for them, and I still have a majority. I have a majority in the legislature. And if you don't help these people who are giving you the peace and tranquility to make money, it is them who are giving you a peaceful society that you can make money comfortably. It's them." And he says, if you don't, I have a majority down in the legislature, and I will bring the requisite legislation to do so. And the first one, and the only one who dedicated some money that morning to the Housing Development Board was the Battlefield Bank. I think it was Mr. Duggan. I think the Battlefield Bank.
Okay.
He put up some money. I think it was $250,000 that they put up to help with low income housing. You have to do these things. You just can't be from one government to the next, from one meeting to the next, begging people, asking people to do what's right. You have legislation. You are now the government. You are now ministers, and you should go down to the legislature and do the right thing. One of the things that I see that they should be doing now is engaging the public about a decent living wage. $6 an hour is not a decent living wage in Cayman, and that is reason why they're rushing to. That is some of the reasons why they're rushing to open the hotels, so they can get the slave labor back, so they can make big profits. And they don't want to hire Caymanian people. A good living wage is something should be on their agenda now, and they should put that right through quickly, because they have the money to do that.
Okay. Can we go back to the jobs for Caymanians? We do have a caller. We'll take the caller after the commercial break, because we're about 2 minutes to the break. Would you say that the approach that they're taking now is really to first sit down and have a conversation with them before using the carrot rather than
why
the
should
stick,
they have a conversation with them when they have not done this before? You think they're going to change now because you have a new government? They're not going to change. I would have my legislation. I wouldn't have to consult them. I would consult. The people have already given me the mandate and tell me what I want to do. I wouldn't be sitting with them. I would have my legislation. I would call them and tell them this is what the legislation means and this is what you have to do carry on business.
Because once you issue those work permits, or if you allow those persons who are on work permits to return, then it's going to be more difficult for you to make any changes afterwards.
Exactly. Okay? And those people are going to have their work permit rights, in which they can take you to court if you abrogate those rights.
But wouldn't they still have them now as it stands if they have left the jurisdiction, but the work permit is still valid?
Well, if they're left the jurisdiction, how can a work permit be valid? They're not working.
Yeah.
And Section 16 say we have the right to in respect to entry or exclusion or the employment, engagement in any business or profession, movement or residence within the Cayman Islands of persons who are not Caymanian.
Now, if I'm not, I'm almost certain that I have seen some ads go out about certain hotels hiring, one that was named in this article. So maybe that some reaction is, they're getting some reaction from it, but it is something that needs to be monitored very closely. We can't just accept lip service as to what they're going to do. We have to see action. And we know that one particular member of parliament, who is now a minister, had strongly advocated for certain jobs to be designated for
as Caymanian jobs
only. Yes,
that's right.
As well. Okay?
That's right. It can't be business as usual.
Okay. So we're going to take a commercial break. We do have a caller on hold. We will take that caller as soon as we return from the commercial break. So please stay tuned.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas. The past half-century have offered Cayman a significant growth spurt. The 1950s were a launchpad year, with a number of hotels opening as tourism began to increase. In 1953, an airfield was opened in Grand Cayman, eventually replacing the seaplane service which had operated since the 1940s. Also in 1953, the Georgetown Hospital was opened and Barclays Bank, the first commercial bank, started doing business here. A few years later, in 1956, the weather station at Owen Roberts International Airport on Grand Cayman began operation. And then in 1959, Cayman received its first written constitution, which granted women the right to vote. And the Cayman Islands ceased to be a dependency of Jamaica. Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
The Black Tie Affair with a Circus Twist. Step Right Up, the second annual gala hosted by Rotary Central for the Alex Panton Foundation. Saturday, May 29th, Marriott Beach Ballroom. Step Right Up supports the Alex Panton Foundation, dedicated to serving and preserving young people through vulnerable times, mental health intervention, treatment, guidance, preserving precious life. The Rotary Central Gala, The Black Tie Affair with a Circus Twist, sponsored and supported by Wheaton Precious Metals, Nelson Attorneys at Law, Massive Equipment, Cayman Spirits. Rotary opens opportunities.
Did you know that defective airbags can cause serious injury or even death if not repaired immediately? Right now, millions of vehicles around the world are under recall for faulty Takata airbags, and yours could be one of them. At Vamt Motors, our priority is to make sure the Toyota or Ford you drive is safe. So we are offering customers a free, fast, and easy airbag swap out if your vehicle was manufactured in 2016 or earlier. Find out if you need to have new airbags installed by emailing your Ford or Toyota vehicle's VIN or vehicle identification number to service@vamtmotors.com or stop by Vamp's Service Center or call us at 949-2245. Don't risk it. Get the airbags in your Toyota or Ford checked for free at Vamt Motors on Walkers Road.
I grew up in a Canadian village with a general store that had just about anything you could ever need. That's what I'm reminded of every time I go into West Bay Pharmacy. It's not just because it's well stocked with necessities and oddities, but also because it's like our community hub. The staff treat customers like friends. Ron and the team of pharmacists have kept my family patched up and flu-free for years, and there are usually a few good laughs mixed in. They are truly taking care of my health and my family's health. West Bay Pharmacy is the very best of Cayman kind.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, Taste the feeling, Cayman.
Whether you're finishing a new condo, upgrading your rental property, or simply renovating, make Roper's Enterprises your first stop. Quality furniture at a fraction of the price. Find everything for your home and kitchen at low prices. Roper's, your neighborhood store. Value, integrity. Roper's Enterprises, 122 Industrial Way. Your home deserves a quality finish. Visit their showroom or shop online at ropers.ky. Ropers, providing products and services for better public health.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me Dr. Steve Macfield, and we do have a caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Thanks for being so patient.
Good morning, Miss Sophie. Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. So, two things this morning for me. One, I just want to encourage parents, students, especially the government system, to take advantage that exams are on board. When I say take advantage of providing additional time to children in terms of study, review. You know, this is the time when children show what their achievements are, what they've learned during the year, and we have an opportunity now to have an impact, and we also have an obligation as parents to ensure that children are studying and they're reviewing their work and they're using all of their online access to do that. And I know that most children, if not all of the children in the government schools, have an online and login that they have passwords for, and parents would have access to that, and majority of those will have a device that can access that. So I really want to encourage it. We have all the schools studying really, so there's going to be multiple children within the home who are studying, even all the ones in university like CCI, ICCI. Have the children study with them, because then it becomes sort of a family affair. My second point is with regard to the housing. I think there are two types of housing that are needed on the island. One is low income and one is for what I call middle class. And it's because you have a lot of young adults, you have middle-aged adults who actually earn a decent income, who do not want low-income housing. Mm-hmm. And they haven't also been provided for. And so where they get stuck is that you have, and I'm going to use it because it's public knowledge, the Frank on home developments, for example, and the value that they have attached to those homes, 2 and 3 bedroom houses, are really out of the reach of even the middle-class Caymanians who are still above low income. And so we don't have sort of a bridge, you know? And I think we have to focus on both sets of persons, because we can't just pretend as if it's not impacting a whole range of persons, the housing situation. And then what they are providing for that is in a range is so small that I don't know how families can fit into those 600 and 800 square foot dwellings that are actually being built. So I think there's 2 sets of housing that need to be considered. Again, low income, and for those who are above the low income range, because we really haven't made provision for that.
Caller, do you believe that enough is being done to encourage investors to invest in low income housing? Because we seem to be of the view that everyone needs to have a single detached house as opposed to apartments. But we see in the on the upper level apartments that are being built, but they're like you said, they're being built and they're out of the reach of middle class Caymanians, and definitely out of the reach of lower class Caymanians. But something similar to what is being done there, but at a more affordable scale for the persons who can only afford maybe a $1,200 a month mortgage or something like that. Do you believe that enough is being done to encourage investors to get into that area?
My personal opinion, and this is my personal opinion, I don't believe so. Because if you look at what's happened in those areas that I initially thought 10, 15 years ago when Frank All Home started, they were targeting a certain group of persons in the country, so that they provided this opportunity to have your house, and you didn't have to do this, and you didn't have to go to find land. They provided the land. They provided the house with reasonable cost. 6 years later, the same people who could have afforded that home can't afford it. And then what's happening is those developments had what people wanted. They had the parks. They had other children. They had children that went to school. They had persons who go to work in the same area. So they develop relationships. Now you have investors going into this other type of housing, cramming everybody in, but then the persons really buying those aren't persons actually going to live in those. And what they've done is they've sold them out to foreign investment who then turn around to rent them. But they can afford to buy them at the high prices because they have that sort of disposable income. They have that level of income that allows it for investment, rather than say, let's have the investment, but let us build something that really is ideal to the buyer that we're catering for. So have we done that? No.
Now, in some countries, and really can't compare ourselves to the United States, but in many cities in the United States, you have what you call public housing. Do you think that that is something that the government should be looking into to build homes?
Those public housing that I've seen, because what I've seen from what I've looked at and read about and studied, I find that what they do is they encourage crime. And I don't think that's what we want. I look at Jamaica all the time. I go onto their website and I look at all of the developments they're doing within that country in terms of gated communities and stuff. I mean, if you really take the time and look at that, they're giving persons individual detached homes. Some are semi-detached and some are detached. But they're getting a 1,200 square foot house that has a park, that has a playground, that has what they need, not crammed into an apartment complex, perhaps only because you have one bedroom unit. You know what you end up with, a one bedroom unit, one parking space. What happens to the rest? So it is not conducive to family life. Nobody wants to be jammed together. And I don't think that that type of public housing is what we want in Cayman Islands. I don't believe that that's going to work.
So caller, do you know the concepts or the principles of PPP, public-private partnership? Well, maybe we should be thinking about that sort of scheme, public-private partnership. Because in many other countries you have public-private partnerships. We have it in the Scandinavian countries. We have it in other countries, and in some parts in Jamaica you have that too. And one of the problems that we have, that I see, is that we keep giving these concessions to all these millionaires to build all these places. That does not really help us. What they should be doing is giving a concession to local builders to do those to build adequate housing for Caymanian people. That's what they should be doing. They should be giving concession to the local hospitals also to have the latest technology and to have health care for Cayman people. Not some hospital concept from some other country. And another thing, public partnership also could work in finding jobs for Caymanians by building B&Bs or small hotels in the districts for Caymanian people. For instance, ma'am, I know that we have one of the most expensive pieces of beach land on the 7 Mile Beach. But who's living there? The governor. They have been living there now for ad infinitum. And that land should be turned into a commercial venture for Caymanians. Caymanians have a lot of money in their pension funds and stuff and so forth. There should be partnership with the government to build those kind of things so that Caymanians can work and work in their own institutions. They hire themselves and make money for themselves. We have to start thinking outside the box.
Well, in terms of the public partnership, I'll just say this so that I'll let you go. I believe that the public partnership would come in where, when we are doing these developments, that we are doing it to include public health centers within the little communities that we're building, that we're doing the schools, that we're doing the shopping centers, that we're doing all of these things, so that those communities are self-sufficient. And that is where you create the job, and that is where you can use local investment. Foreign investors are not going to see that because they don't live in those communities. The government knows that from the people that they have, right? So those are some of the information stuff that I believe is coming up. I think the current administration, my belief is they understand that because that is what is being asked of them. Okay.
But they have the mandate to do so.
We have to give it time as well. But then if I answer your point on the governors, I don't agree with your position. I believe we need to keep that landmark as it's been. because that's what differentiates us. And I think if we let go of that, it's going to be something else that's not available any longer to us. We probably don't own a piece of beach property left that we can look at and has historical value. That's my opinion.
Okay.
So you might differ on that. But anyway, I appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the issues that you've raised as well. Folks, top of the hour, headline, 8 o'clock news. Please stay tuned. For the record with Dr. Steve Macfield will continue after the 8 o'clock news.
Thank you, Mr. Corner. And studio time now by Foster's is 8 o'clock.
Ooh, I love the sound of this vegan, dairy-free cheese.
And I just found these keto ice cream bars that I think you'll love.
Maybe also grab our favorite dairy-free organic oat milk. I think we're nearly out.
Introducing Foster's Finds, the easiest way to shop for new and specialty products exclusively found at Foster's Cayman Bay. Just look out for the shelf signs in store or visit fosters.ky/finds to discover your new favorite products. Foster's, better choice because we care.
The 8 a.m. news is proudly sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. For further information, please visit chamberpension.ky. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. We are a not-for-profit, member-centric plan with a democratically elected volunteer board of trustees representing all sectors of the Cayman Islands economy. We have an all-in expense ratio of less than 1%, over 20,000 members, and $490 million in assets under management. We were the first multi-employer pension plan approved by the regulator in the late 1990s, and today we are still strong, secure, and are here for our employees and employers alike. If you would like to join or require further information, visit chamberpension.ky. And for information as it happens, follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Email admin@pensions.ky or call 745-7630. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. The Chamber of Commerce is encouraging its members and the wider public to fully support government's efforts to safely reopen the borders by getting vaccinated. With the initial vaccine delivery due to expire early next month and no new stock confirmed, time is running out to receive the first installment of the vaccine. The Chamber is reminding the public that doses 1 and 2 remain available to anyone over the age of 16, regardless of surname. Photo IDs are still required. However, proof that persons are ordinarily and legally resident are no longer needed. The deadline for receiving your first dose is June 9th. The vaccine schedule now includes more evening hours at additional locations across the districts, as well as at Cayman Bay and Owen Roberts Airport. For more information, visit hsa.ky. This week, you'll have an opportunity to see what Cayman students are learning in the technical vocational education and training arena. CIGTV's Donna Bush has more.
Well, a reminder to the public about the upcoming TVET showcase at the Cayman Islands Further Education Center, or CIFACT. It's all happening this Thursday, the 20th, from 5 to 7 p.m. at the school. You, the public, can see the wonderful works the students are doing under the various vocational and technical programs happening at the CIFACT site.
And Health City Cayman Islands gears up for its summer undergrad internship program. And as Radio Cayman Shanda Gallego reports, final applications are being sought from Cayman who are studying or intend to study medicine or allied health.
Health City officials say the Health City Summer Undergraduate Research Fellowship, SURF, provides Caymanian University students with experience in a rich learning environment and access to a team of specialist physician mentors and supervisors. Shamari Scott, Chief Business Officer at Health City Cayman Islands, says there are opportunities for up to 10 interns and are offering students a U.S. $1,000 stipend. Now in its 7th year, SURF is an annual research and shadowing opportunity for Caymanian students on a medical or pre-medical track. SURF 2021 will take place July 6th through to July 30th, 2021 in a hybrid learning format. Eligible candidates for SURF will be currently enrolled as an undergraduate at or a recent graduate of an accredited university, be candidates for a degree program leading to further studies or qualification in a medical field, be in good academic standing with or have graduated with a GPA of 3.0 or higher, Caymanian or permanent resident, and at least 18 years old by July 6th, 2021. Applications are due by May 24th, 2021. Shanda Gallego, Radio Cayman News.
For more information, visit healthcitycaymanislands.com. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
BBC News with Jerry Smith. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has defended his military campaign against Palestinian militants in Gaza as hostilities between Israel and Hamas continue for a 10th day. Mr. Netanyahu said that if Hamas felt it had won the latest conflict, it would be a defeat for the entire West. The health ministry in Gaza says that 219 people have been killed there. 12 people have been killed in Israel. India has recorded the world's highest number of daily deaths from the coronavirus. 4,529 people died from COVID-19 in the latest 24-hour period. The Serum Institute of India, one of the main suppliers to the global vaccine sharing scheme, says it won't resume exports until the end of this year. The health authorities in Malawi have destroyed more than 19,000 expired doses of the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine. They say the move is intended to convince the population that all jabs they're being offered are safe and in date. European Union member states are recommending that coronavirus restrictions on travel into the bloc should be relaxed for fully vaccinated people and those from countries with low infection rates. It would be up to individual member states to decide on the specific rules, and they could still request COVID testing. Europe's second highest court has annulled the EU's decision to approve state aid for the airline Air France-KLM. The General Court in Luxembourg ruled that the European Commission had given inadequate reasons for approving billions of dollars paid to KLM by the Netherlands during the pandemic. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is proudly sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. For further information, please visit chamberpension.ky.
The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. Are you aware of the performance of your pension plan? The Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan provides quarterly fund fact sheets for our members to stay informed with the plan's performance. For the year ended August 31st, various life cycle funds provided returns between 9.2% and 16.5%, and our all-in expense ratio is currently the lowest it's ever been, a record low at 0.72%. Visit chamberpension.ky to review our fund fact sheets. You can see the performance as far back as 10 years. Remember that pensions are a longer-term investment strategy. Focus on the long term rather than the short-term returns. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan continues to perform for you.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
We asked 100 people what they would do with a little extra time. Top answers included hang with friends, sleep, volunteer, walking on the beach, watch TV. But the odd thing is, no one said, stand in line to pay my bill. Funny that. Now Logic introduces Logic My Account. Pay online, view bill history, schedule automatic payments, and more. Go to logic.ky/my account and pay online, not stand in line. Logic My Account. Go on. Give yourself a little extra time. Bake a cake, browse the web, yoga, spring clean.
Children want to know you're listening to them, but they also want to listen to you. When it comes to alcohol or any drug, they want to know your expectation and how and why to stop underage consumption. Talking early and often about it in everyday conversation reinforces your message and keeps lines of communication open. For more information, visit ndc.ky. This message was brought to you by the National Drug Council and Radio Cayman.
The 8:10 a.m. Weather Report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by Pan American International Insurance Corporation. Pan American International Insurance Corporation, meeting the life, accident, and health insurance needs of individuals and businesses to ensure financial security and peace of mind. For more information, call 949-8304 or visit www.palig.com. That's PALIG.com.
For over 100 years, more than 5.8 million people across the Americas and the Caribbean have placed their trust in Pan American Life Insurance Group. We have delivered on our promise and have proven that we're more than just an insurance company, we're family. To learn more about our first-in-class group health and employee benefit solutions, please visit Pan American Life Insurance Company of the Cayman Islands at Unit 221, Cannon Place East, North Sound Road, Grand Cayman, or contact us at 949-8304. You can also visit us online at www.palig.com. Pan American Life, people you can trust for life.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 84 degrees. Relative humidity is 80%. The barometric pressure 29.92 inches and rising. The wind is out of the southeast at 8 knots. Overnight low temperature was 80 degrees. Synopsis indicate isolated showers along with light easterly winds and seas will continue across the Cayman area for the next 24 hours. As a shear line lingers just north of our area. Radar images show scattered showers in and around the Cayman area moving towards the northwest. Now the forecast for today calling for partly cloudy skies with a 40% chance of showers and possible thunder, and temperatures will be in the upper 80s today. Your winds will be southeast at 10 to 15 knots. Seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Pretty much the same for tonight, partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers, and temperatures will fall to the upper 70s tonight. Your winds will be east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, and seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Today's low tide will occur this morning at 10:38, high tide this afternoon at 4:25, and a low tide again tonight at 10:13. The sun will set this evening at 6:53 and will rise tomorrow morning at 5:49. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through Thursday evening, as remnants of the shear line is expected to linger over the northwest Caribbean for the next few days. That's the very latest on your weather report.
The 8:10 a.m. Weather Report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by Pan American International Insurance Corporation. Pan American International Insurance Corporation, meeting the life, accident, and health insurance needs of individuals and businesses to ensure financial security and peace of mind. For more information, call 949-8304 or visit www.palig.com. That's PALIG.com.
For over 100 years, more than 5.8 million people across the Americas and the Caribbean have placed their trust in Pan American Life Insurance Group. We have delivered on our promise and have proven that we are more than an insurance company. We are family. To learn more about our first-in-class individual and group life, disability and accident solutions, please visit Pan American International Insurance Corporation at Unit 221, Cannon Place East, North Sound Road, Grand Cayman, or contact us at 949-8304 and visit us online at www.palig.com. Pan American Life, people you can trust for life.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by OnCourse Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
Achieving your goals is a very rewarding feeling, but at times can feel very frustrating, especially if and when we miss our target. As you approach your goals in life, set yourself up for success.
When setting your goals, break it down. Once the long-term goals are set, work backwards to set smaller and more manageable goals. These should be specific, measurable, and achievable. For example, study in the library for 1 hour 3 times per week instead of study more. Consider what you need to do daily, weekly, or by the end of the year in order to succeed. Smaller goals allow you to focus on the essential steps today to ensure you are prepared when tomorrow's opportunities become available.
Change your thinking and change your life.
Radio Cayman's Cayman Strong series was brought to you by OnCourse Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
These days, feelings of loneliness, anxiety, stress, and depression can be overwhelming. Just know you are not alone. OnCourse Cayman offers private mental health services for children, teens, adults, and groups. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Good morning once again. Let's take a look at what's happening on the roads. Coming off of Bobby Thompson Way, traffic is steady but flowing at the moment. Steady traffic on Huldah Avenue. On the Linford Pearson Highway, heavy traffic. Slight delays expected as you're heading down to Georgetown. Also coming off of Agnes Way, busy traffic and steady traffic. And some sections coming from the Esley Tibbetts Highway, heading towards the Butterfield Roundabout. Light traffic on Owen Roberts Drive, and as we look to downtown Georgetown on Edward Street, traffic is moving on pretty good. And good flow of traffic on Godfrey Nixon Way. It's moving at a good pace. Shedden Road in and out of Georgetown looking pretty good. That's the very latest on your traffic. If you see any accidents or incidents on Cayman's roads, give us a call here at Radio Cayman 949-6990. That's the very latest on your traffic. Join us again at about 10 minutes after 12 o'clock. We'll give you another traffic report. Remember, click it or ticket.
At Subway, we know a meal isn't quite complete without a side, and that's why we're introducing waffle fries. Subway's waffle fries are oven-baked softness with extra crispy edge, giving a satisfying taste to be enjoyed as is or in any of Subway's dipping sauces. Order waffle fries as a side item for $2 or make it a meal deal. Subway, eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
I'm looking for a new pizza joint with that perfect crust. My car needs a bit of a tune-up, and my pregnant wife needs something from the pharmacy. So I turned to the printed yellow directory, and in an instant, the pizzas are ordered, the oil change is booked, and the thing that I'm not allowed to say out loud has been purchased for my wife. Problem solved. When you need something quick, do yourself a favor. Flip through the printed yellow directory. Stop searching, start finding. Yellow, we know local.
The Black Tie Affair with a Circus Twist. Step right up, the second annual gala hosted by Rotary Central for the Alex Panton Foundation. Saturday, May 29th, Marriott Beach Ballroom. Step right up supports the Alex Panton Foundation, dedicated to serving and preserving young people through vulnerable times, mental health intervention, treatment, guidance, preserving precious life. The Rotary Central Gala, The Black Tie Affair with a Circus Twist, sponsored and supported by Wheaton Precious Metals, Nelson Attorneys at Law, Massive Equipment, Cayman Spirits. Rotary opens opportunities.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Orit Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning Dr. Steve Macfield. We do have two callers and we will be going to those callers, but I just want to point out that at 9 o'clock this morning, you can either get vaccinated or you can just talk about the vaccination. If you have any questions or concerns, civil service, there will be a civil service vaccination clinic at the government administration building cafeteria this morning from 9 a.m. until 12 noon. And this is really designed for civil servants. I would imagine those who occupy the government administration building. So if you're a civil servant and you want to be vaccinated, or if you just want to talk to a health professional, you can do so at the Civil Service Vaccination Clinic, Government Administration Building, this morning from 9 until 12 noon. And I will repeat that during the course of the show, again, to encourage persons. Either you can go and be vaccinated, or you just want to talk about it to a health professional, you will have the opportunity to do so as well. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Lucy. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have to somewhat totally agree with the caller before the break.
Okay.
My explanation with the low cost and medium cost housing, like what Frank Hall was doing, the infrastructure back when he started was, you would say, minimal cost. Today that has escalated to probably 3-4 times the amount. Even the land that he purchased for these houses, the filling them has actually gone up. I mean, nothing stays the same except wages. Also, on the building aspect of it, the cost of material, you say since COVID especially, has escalated through the clouds, not even through the roof. What you used to pay for a length of pipe, let's say a half-inch piece of pipe, is now triple the price of what it was a year ago. If you were doing it even out of X111, X111 now is anywhere from, you would say, $50-something to $100 a sheet. So, I mean, everything has gone up except wages. So, for a low-cost housing of 1,000 or 1,200 square feet, where it used to be like, let's say, $100 or $90 a square foot, is probably now $150 to $200 a square foot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you believe that if some direct subsidy was to be given to the developers in terms of, I don't know if they get it already, and any type of duty concessions on those to help to keep the prices down, but it would be restricted to homes being built at a certain value? You think that may help, or are they already getting concessions?
I don't know if they're getting any concessions. I don't think so, but that would help. That definitely would help. And, you know, I mean, like the caller said, not too many Caymanians want to be living in, you say, an apartment style, we call it, you know, establishment.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I don't like them, period, because I can't take and go into my backyard and grow a tomato plant, much less anything else. I have to do what strata actually tells me I can do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if I want to paint my house purple and pink and all the other colors of the rainbow, I can't do it. I gotta leave it to what strata says it must be. Now inside I can do whatever I please and choose on, you say, on the inside, but nothing on the outside. That is one of the kickbacks of it. And then there's strata fees that you have to pay. You're paying another mortgage. So you have two mortgages on to pay every month. Another thing that makes it kind of difficult as a individual in Cayman, you're paying let's say you get out of school, you get a job, a decent job, and you can afford to rent a place, say for $1,200-$1,500 a month. You can rent that place and maintain that payment and all the other expenses that you have for 5-10 years, and you go to the bank still say you're not qualified because you're not making enough money, but yet your loan payments would have been about the $1,500 a month. I mean, what? I don't understand it. There's no incentive for Caymanians, young Caymanians, trying to get a home for their own. Even the banks, like I said, do it to them.
Okay, caller, want to thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a great day, and please stay safe as well. Next caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
See, and is the doc in as yet?
He's been here since 7:30.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize that. Yeah. I was paying attention. But good morning, Dr. McFeel.
Good morning, madam. Good morning, ma'am.
Thank you very much for being on the radio, and I want to say, when you're not there, we miss you, you know.
Thank you. Thank you.
And welcome Miss Susan back, and know that she's doing well. I was trying to tell her earlier that she must go the 30-mile ride with you. And I got to tell you what I should say, but she's not going to try that out yet. Uh-huh. So it's still encouraging, you know. But I want to get down to what I really did call for. What the last two callers were speaking about, low-cost housing, they both are absolutely right. Now they're building apartments, one-bedroom apartments. Everywhere you go, somebody's going to get stuck with them, or we got to soon start squatting in them because we're not able to buy them. So a 600 square foot apartment starting at $300,000 CI. They're not including strata fees and then if you want to buy. If you want to plant, like the last caller say, a tomato tree, you got to go through board members and whatnot to find out if you can get a tomato tree. And how in the world do these people, and these are, a lot of them are Caymanian investors, how in the world do they think that a Caymanian, even the one with the profession that's making some money, good money, can afford these things? And it's much afraid is no more Frank Hall homes, which they were doing such a good job of getting people, especially Caymanians. And I wish that some investor would think of us and build homes that the younger people can afford, not them want to get richer in a year. Richer in a year. You build a house on a small piece of land, 12,000 square feet, and it's nearly $500,000 or over $500,000. Which Caymanian can afford that? Yet they tell us they love us dearly. But it's not only the investors from abroad is doing that. It is our own Caymanians doing it to our own Caymanians. But I also want to say this, and I'm trying not to take up too much time, but I would like for anybody that can help clean up around a retired nurse home She is totally bedridden now, and she has dementia. A friend of mine, Elizabeth, and myself went to check on her and check on amputee that we were trying to get a refrigerator for and a sofa for, and we're making some headway. But around this nurse yard is deplorable, and she is in Bosun Bay, and she's right out front.
Do you have any caller? Do you have any any local landscapers in the district of West Bay who would contribute their time, the time of their workers to go and clear the yard up for them?
OC, to be honest with you, those landscapers would have to have grab trucks and whatnot, and I don't feel like going to ask a landscaper because it's nothing to landscape except oh God!
So it's more debris. It's more debris than vegetation. Then you're talking about.
It's no vegetation at all.
Okay. What about environmental health?
We're gonna work at that, but I would like to have some of those same guys. They're sitting on West Bay Public Beach, eating, playing dominoes. No offense, Uzi. Playing dominoes, cards, doing nothing all day to come and help clean up this person. Even a service club. This woman has been service to our community for 30, 40 years. And then we have politicians, I'm not talking about these new ones, that has been bragging about 36 years of service to whom? To whom? Playing like bill and paint, that does not cut it these days. We need to be more sympathetic, more generous, like how we used to be many years ago. That's what we call Cayman kind. Not now, and we're still calling it Cayman kind. The yard has everything that you can think about: old washers, old parts, old engines.
Caller, it sounds as if that this is a situation that didn't just arise today. It has existed for a long time. And to me, that is an indictment on the neighbors. It's an indictment on the politicians. It's an indictment on family members. If she has any family members as well, there are a lot of people who have to take responsibility for this happening. And at this point in time, it doesn't make sense to go around with the blame game. What we need to do is we need to find someone. And I would say that rather than having to go around and ask people, I would say your best bet is just see what environmental health can do. They have the grab trucks and everything. They can come around the yard. They can pick up the stuff. They do it during the Christmas time, sometimes 2 times for the year. I would say the first approach is to go to them, because what is more important now is getting the situation resolved. Caller, we have to go to a commercial break. I want to thank you very much. I hope and I trust that you would take the advice or the suggestions that we have made here as well. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Did you know the third most important factor for customer retention is cleanliness? With 95% of shoppers saying exterior appliance influences where they decide to shop. Keep your business clean with Roper's Janitorial. From offices to restaurants, interior and exterior, walls to rugs and flooring. Roper's cleans it all, including 24-hour emergency service. Roper's Janitorial, 949-2511, or email janitorial@ropers.ky. Dress your business for success with Roper's Janitorial. We make your business shine. 949-2511. Roper's. providing products and services for better public health.
When I was growing up in Cayman, Sundays was always a big day for our family. Everyone would go to Granny's house for Sunday dinner after church. Even today, I can still smell the aroma of all the delicious food we used to eat, especially the hot, fresh baked bread smothered in butter, topped off with our favorite pan cheese. These days, I don't have enough time to cook and bake, but I do my best to carry on the Sunday tradition of family meals, and being able to get hot, fresh bread with no preservatives or additives from Caribbean Bakery is a big help for me. Shh, don't tell them, they still think I baked it. Caribbean Bakery, now delivering every Sunday to McGrath's grocery store in Eastern Avenue and Marina Drive. Caribbean Bakery, made Cayman fresh.
The Green Turtle app. So many options. One easy solution. All new subscription feature to automate your weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly top-up. Makes your life easier. Never lose a number again. Keep your children on budget. Yes! Make sure you can stay in touch with your loved one. Woohoo! No hassles. Green Turtle makes it easy. Take a ride on Cayman's Green Turtle Express. Download the Green Turtle app today. It just makes life easier. Remember, you can get mobile gift cards for Xbox, PlayStation, Apple, and Spotify delivered right to your phone. Playtime is now in real time.
Did you know that defective airbags can cause serious injury or even death if not repaired immediately? Right now, millions of vehicles around the world are under recall for faulty Takata airbags, and yours could be one of them. At Vamt Motors, our priority is to make sure the Toyota or Ford you drive is safe. So we are offering customers a free, fast, and easy airbag swap out if your vehicle was manufactured in 2016 or earlier. Find out if you need to have new airbags installed by emailing your Ford or Toyota vehicle's VIN or vehicle identification number to service@vamtmotors.com or stop by Vamp's service center or call us at 949-2245. Don't risk it. Get the airbags in your Toyota or Ford checked for free at Vamp Motors on Walkers Road.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me this morning, Dr. Steve Macfield. Before we go to the phone lines, one listener has written in, and this was sent in to us real early this morning. So I want to give them their dues in terms of sharing this. The person says that as soon it will be rainy season. I have called and left messages for the NRA to clear the drains on Sandalwood Crescent, but they have not done so as yet. They are usually prompt in doing so. However, before the last election, work got started on the road, probably to pave it, but nothing has been done since. And a lot of gravel is in the drains. Can you please read this message for me, as it floods very badly during the rainy season in the location? And they go on to explain that Sandalwood Crescent is located off Walkers Road in Georgetown. So they're talking about the condition of the road. A lot of marl and gravel there. Seemed as if some road work had been done, but it hasn't been completed, and the drains need to be cleared because we are nearing the rainy season as well. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello.
Good morning, caller. Go right ahead.
Yeah, morning, OC. Morning, Dr. Steve. Elvis here.
Morning, Elvis.
Good morning, Mr. Elvis.
Good, man. I say, now, I was listening on the bulletin there about the vaccination process.
Mm-hmm.
Now it says that we don't care whether it's illegal or not. you don't have to show no ID now, and you can come in and get the vaccination. So I interpret it like this now. Okay, you can break the law by overstaying, then you come get vaccinated so you don't spread COVID, to take away work, to save Caymanian lives, and you to stay alive to take away work from the Caymanian. So instead of the corona killing the Caymanian, you started death. Now, I don't know where these ideas can come from. I mean, that's encouraging people to stay in your country illegal and work. Once you're vaccinated, we need a serious...
No, but caller, the vaccination process is for health purposes. Nothing to do, while work may factor into it, the whole idea of getting vaccinated is so that you don't contract the virus, or if you do contract it, that the effects of it will not be as deadly as if you had not been vaccinated. So, and the whole idea is that rather than the vaccine going to waste after the 9th of June, that everyone should get it. So even if a person is here illegally, and we're not in any way sanctioning the fact that people should remain here illegally, but they are human beings at the end of the day and susceptible to the virus like everybody else.
And even if they're here illegally, they can pass on the vaccine to somebody else.
Virus, yeah.
I mean, the virus to somebody else, and that's the problem. That would be a problem for us. So the illegality of their presence here is a secondary to the health hazard that they would be able to continue passing from one person to the other.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, caller.
Tell me something. So you really tell me now that we can use a virus to cover up for illegal immigrants? I mean, because they are human? Hello.
No. The focus really is not on illegal. And if they're here illegally, that's another matter, and the authorities will deal with that and have their ways of dealing with it. It's not like you welcoming people and saying, come to the Cayman Islands illegally to get the vaccine.
So tell me something now.
Mm-hmm.
Why, since we want the people to get vaccinated, why we don't put a task force around up the legal people vaccinated who can get time legal to stay, and who can't get it, send them home. Vaccinate them, then send them home.
Well, the Customs and Border Control should be doing that anyway in terms of rounding up people who are here illegally.
But how Border Control can trouble somebody when the health service say, don't trouble them, they come in to get the vaccine. So after they get the vaccine, then you go hunt them down.
No.
I think the scenarios that you're painting there, caller, are not really. I don't agree with those scenarios.
Are not really accurate. What Mr. For the Record is saying is that Border Control should be doing this anyway, whether or not they're here illegally or whether or not they have the vaccine or not. That is their role, and they should be doing that every day.
Okay, okay, I understand that. And now I see they offering a hamburger if you come get your vaccine. No, and since we had, I've been giving all kinds of these things.
That's a private sector. That's a private sector that's doing that. They're getting involved in it now because they realize how important it is in order for us to open up our borders and for them to their business to increase, the importance of everyone being vaccinated.
Well, see, I will encourage every ganja smoker, legal or illegal, that if the government would give us 6 months amnesty for smoking weed and planting weed until they pass the law, we all come get vaccinated. You can jug it in my head, big toe, foot, anywhere. I would like that. And now you guys have a nice day.
Thank you very much, caller. Let's grab the next caller. I think we have enough time, Ms. Susan, or we want to take the break first? Okay, caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C. How are you?
Good morning, I'm fine.
How are you, sir?
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir. Quick question and a suggestion.
Okay.
Mr. Connor, I don't know, between now and Friday or between now and Monday, I would like if you could find out for me how many Caymanians, it's funny to say went to define a Caymanian now, but a real Caymanian, how many are on the tourism board, the board of tourism? How many real Caymanians are on that board? Because I'm understanding from a lot of
you're talking about the national association that represents all
hotels and restaurants and stuff.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sure that you can call their office and find and they could provide that information. In terms of how many Caymanians are on there, because they represent the various industries. They represent restaurant. They represent hotels, guest houses.
Condominiums. And caller, for your information, a Caymanian is anyone who has Caymanian status.
Yeah, well,
either by birth or
by grant.
I take it a little different. How could, Dr. Murphy, this is for you, so how could you define what they call assault? Like you yourself or see myself, they're born here. How could we define us?
Well, that's what the law says. I have to abide by what the law says. The law says that Caymanian is anyone who has Caymanian status, and that's the law of the land. So I have to interpret the law that way.
Now, if you wanted to take Caymanian and break them down into different categories, indigenous born Caymanian, a Caymanian who has been granted it by virtue of marriage, one who has been granted it by virtue of being resident here
or by
in the Cayman Islands or whatever. You can define it that way, but what would be the purpose of doing so?
Yeah, well, the island is good. The laws are just, I think, suiting for other people and not the real. When I speak about the real Cayman, I mean those that are born here. But another question, Mr. Markfield, Doctor, sir, do you think that we are in the position of opening up our borders now, sir?
Are the position of doing what?
Opening up our borders.
We're not going to open up the borders until when the government feels that it's safe to open up the borders. They have made that quite plain that they're not going to open up the borders willy-nilly for some business persons or some business entity or some business corporation because they're losing money or want to make money or so forth. They're not going to do that. And they have told you so. They have told you so, and you have to take what they say as what they mean. That's what they have said. They're not going to open up the borders until they open up the borders is safe for every Caymanian and every person who enters Cayman and everybody who lives here.
Yes, sir. Well, I appreciate that. But I understand there's still a lot of people that has not been vaccinated yet, and I understand that once they get the amount of people vaccinated, then they will open up the borders.
Yes, once you reach herd immunity,
that will determine the way forward in terms of opening up. But that in itself will not be the only factor to be taken into consideration. Caller, want to thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Folks, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, the conversation with Dr. Steve McFeel will continue, so please stay tuned.
When I was growing up in Cayman, Sundays was always a big day for our family. Everyone would go to Granny's house for Sunday dinner after church. Even today, I can still smell the aroma of all the delicious food we used to eat, especially the hot, fresh baked bread smothered in butter, topped off with our favorite pan cheese. These days, I don't have enough time to cook and bake, but I do my best to carry on the Sunday tradition of family meals, and being able to get hot, fresh bread with no preservatives or additives from Caribbean Bakery is a big help for me. Shh, don't tell them, they still think I baked it. Caribbean Bakery, now delivering every Sunday to McGrath's grocery store in Eastern Avenue and Marina Drive. Caribbean Bakery, made Cayman fresh.
I grew up in a Canadian village with a general store that had just about anything you could ever need. That's what I'm reminded of every time I go into West Bay Pharmacy. It's not just because it's well stocked with necessities and oddities, but also because it's like our community hub. The staff treat customers like friends. Ron and the team of pharmacists have kept my family patched up and flu-free for years, and there are usually a few good laughs mixed in. They are truly taking care of my health and my family's health. West Bay Pharmacy is the very best of Cayman kind.
Honey, our fridge has stopped working again. Everything in the freezer is melting. We need to get this repaired right away. I'm calling Brand Source Service.
When you need the very best appliance service, call Brand Source Service at 623-5000. Offering service and installation of all brands and models of appliances. Brand Source Service is Cayman's source for appliance parts and repairs, with qualified and experienced technicians and the island's largest stock of appliance parts. Brand Source Service will have your repair completed in a flash. So, whatever the problem is, call the experts at 623-5000. Brand Source Service, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Telephone 623-5000.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. Dr. Steve McFeel in the studio with me. We have two callers, and we're going to be switching between the callers and the WhatsApp messages and the emails that we're receiving. So one of our listeners has responded, Doc, and when you were talking about the Honorable Jim Borden, one of our national heroes, meeting with the
bankers,
local bankers here in the Cayman Islands in relation to affordable housing. This person has written and said that Nick Duggan was of Washington Bank, was the banker who responded positively to Jim Borden's declaration on behalf of affordable housing in Cayman.
Well, he was at Washington at that time, but he did go on to Butterfield.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. I want to thank the person who sent that WhatsApp in to clarify that.
Certainly.
Yes.
Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. O.C.
Good morning. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Good morning, Mr. McFeel. Or I should say both at one time. But, you guys got a important topic again. My God, poor us. I mean, every topic in Cayman should be very important at this time.
Yes.
But I want to agree with Mr. George.
We're getting a feedback in the background from you. We're getting a feedback. Caller?
I think I said I want to call about, we need something. We don't need to rush to open our borders until it's safe, but it's not only safe for the virus. The COVID has been very, very good to us, financial wise. I mean, we might not have tourism, but we got life, and we don't have the virus here. So it has put us in a good position at this time, and it has also, like that man said, has also gave us a reset button.
Mm-hmm.
Cayman needs to now pick up the pace. Caymanians need to come out and make themselves accountable and speak out for what we need. When we open up our borders, Caymanians should be in charge of Cayman, not foreigners. And that's what we got now. We got foreigners in charge of Cayman, and that's who's running Cayman by the money and everything. And we need to, when the government is working at the vaccine, they also need to put things in place that Caymanians would benefit, because this is a reset button, and if we don't do it now, we will never get it. Why I want to say that because I called a talk show yesterday to Dwayne because I was very upset about an incident that I overheard on Saturday in one of the supermarkets. And Foster's Airport is a big supermarket. It was another call on nationalities.
Mm-hmm.
It was these people up in there gathered. Oh, Foster's, the Cayman, not Foster's, the Cayman Islands is so expensive. This in my country is this, in my country is that. And, Cayman people are not nice no more, and whatever, the whole back. It stung me. And I turned around and I said to the people, I said, listen here to me. I am a Caymanian, and I'm a proud Caymanian. And I love my country. It is expensive for me. If you think it is expensive for you check me. You check me that can't live how one can live. And I said, what I will tell you guys, if the Cayman Islands is expensive, I said, but this is the best life Anna has ever had is in Cayman Islands. That's my opinion. And I said, but if one of you all have a problem with what is going on in Cayman, if you guys are having a work, one was saying, no, that they can't get no work and they've been here over a year. I said, like you should be to the airport. I said, but what you need to do is we do not have as many flights going now as we used to go, but you don't need to stay here because we're not going to about a hostage. Cayman doesn't have no about a hostage, so you can go back because unfortunately, and the bad part about it in the wooden way, Caymanians have nowhere else to go, and the good part, Caymanians don't want to go nowhere else. So, but we have to stay here with it. But you guys have a choice to go back home, and if you don't want to go back home, you can go to the next man's country that want you guys. You don't have to stay here in Cayman. You owe us nothing, we owe you nothing. So you guys do not have to stay here. I said, because this is the best life I ever had, as soon as I come to Cayman.
What kind of reaction did you get when you said that?
Oh, she said, we're not nice, we're not nice. I said, no, I'm not nice. If you want to say I'm not nice, I'm not nice. I said, I'm a nice person when I want to be, but then if you guys step in the wrong corner of me, I can be a nasty person. And I said, I'm not giving it to you in a disrespectful way. I'm not cursing or anything. I'm telling it to you as it is. And I said, if you guys are offended, I have no barking bells behind that because that's what I mean. So anybody that is here that does not want to be here, they can go. We don't need to hold up. They don't need to stay here. If it's too expensive, is this thing next to Caymanians are nice? They have made us not nice, but they came and found us nice.
Yeah. And they have the option of leaving. We're stuck here.
That's what I'm saying. They have an option to go. We don't have nowhere else to go, so they need to go. But what the government needs to do is to now go around and start to round up these people that do not have no work here. There's thousands of people here. They're sleeping in cars. They're sleeping on the beach. They're sleeping all over the place because they can't pay their rent. They can't do this. And if they're not getting from NAU, they're probably in a stealing racket because they got to survive. So, but we need to find a way to round these people up and get them out of here. And then we will see that our vaccination, we would not need as many vaccines as we have need now. Because the reason why we need all the vaccines because all these people are here. We got people coming in here.
But we have more vaccine than we need now because people are not taking it up.
People are not taking it. Our people are not taking it.
But that is people's choice. Maybe if we had the population reduced down, we would see we didn't need the quantum vaccines we brought in. But we got people here that from time the border closed, when the border shut down, the week before the border, the government should have made it mandatory that every person that does not have an employment, especially in tourism industry, that's our biggest field. If you do not have work, you have to leave this island because we cannot sustain it. We do not have no natural resources, and it is bad for our economy.
Okay, but we've gone beyond that. We've gone beyond that point now. So what do we do now? What do we do now? What's the answer now?
We need to start recruiting these people and find out if they're not recruiting. We need to start rounding up these people and find out they got work because we know the work. We know their establishments. They're working. Find out they got work. They need to prove something that they got because they're just a burden to us.
Well, and that I think certainly it wouldn't be popular, and the optics of it rounding up people would not be
that would not look good on the international press.
But what we can do is remember now work permits that are issued, they're issued to employers. So we need to appeal to employers. If you have employees who are, as a matter of fact, the law states, if you don't really have any work for your employee, you should surrender that work permit, cancel it.
Yes,
and as well.
But caller, one of the impediments to what you're saying too is the lack of the past governments. We're not blaming this administration, but past administrations of not obtaining the necessary funds to repatriate people back to their own country.
Exactly.
In other places, when you get the work permit, you have to also put up the airfare to
that country.
Yeah, to repatriate people back to that country if something happens to them.
Well, now what the government, that's placed on the responsibility is on the employer in relation to that as well.
But it should be, they should have to put it up. It should be a cash bond, because those people, I had to find for mine, and I put up a repatriation fee, which is non-refundable, but I couldn't buy a ticket.
Right. Well, the government, what we found out with that also, when you put up that repatriation bond,
you don't get it back.
And not only that was designed to take a live body back rather than someone who may have deceased on the island, and that becomes more expensive as well. So where it may have been $300 for an airline ticket to send someone back, it may be $3,000.
13, 16. I had a friend of mine had to pay something like $16,000 to get someone back to the Philippines.
And the government has only held on to 300. So that may not work as well. We've tried some of those, and they have more. Caller, I'm going to ask you to leave us there though, because we have the headline news at 9 o'clock. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Follow Radio Cayman on Twitter. All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Follow us at twitter.com/Radio Cayman.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
Government reported the results of 845 COVID-19 tests on Tuesday. 9 came back positive, all travelers in isolation. So far, almost 74,000 vaccines have been administered, with about 53% of the estimated population completing the 2-dose course. Efforts to broker a truce between Israel and Palestinian militants continue, but little progress appears to have been made. An Israeli defense source tells the BBC, quote, "The operation is continuing at full throttle. There is still no ceasefire on the table." Hamas officials, meanwhile, say ceasefire efforts are, quote, "serious and continuing, but Palestinian demands must be met." New Israeli airstrikes hit Gaza overnight as fighting entered a 10th day. At least 2 militants were killed in strikes on apartment buildings in the territories. Barrages of rockets were also fired into Israel, with Hamas saying it targeted an airbase in the south. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Dr. Steve Macfield. 2 WhatsApp messages. This one says, good morning. Even in the U.S., non-residents can get vaccinated now once all residents/citizens have been vaccinated. Goes on to say that illegal immigrants in other countries are being vaccinated too while waiting to be processed. It's a human rights issue. Yeah, it's a human rights issue and a health issue as well. Yeah. This other one says a moratorium should really be placed on work permits right across the board, like Turks and Caicos or certain groups like in Bermuda. This is a good time now to do this. These countries are not being called anti-expats. If we put this in place, they would call for human rights or say that we are anti-expat. 2 years of this would probably make a difference. But obviously, some of our listeners may not have heard what you said earlier about Section 16.
Section 16, 3B.
Yes.
Says, with respect to the entry into or exclusion from or the employment, engaging in any business or profession, movement or residence within the Cayman Islands of persons not Caymanians is not discriminatory. Mm-hmm. It does not fall under the Bill of Rights for discrimination against other peoples.
Right. Mm-hmm. Doc, two issues, 2 observations that I have. One, I've been thinking about ever since we see so much now with construction and we see so much destruction of our natural habitat here in the Cayman Islands. When the Caymanian Protection Law was introduced in 1972, and we had
27th
things
of
about
April.
residents and all of those things. We were looking to attract investors, rich people. Those were the ones we wanted to attract in the Cayman Islands. Even our tourists, we said we didn't want these group tourism, and even cruise tourism to a certain extent was shunned upon. We wanted stay-over tourism and stuff like that. Well, we got that. And what is happening now? We have invited rich people to come and live and to invest in the Cayman Islands, and the poor Caymanians now are getting squeezed out in one way or the other. Either the cost of living has gone up, the cost of goods has gone up because of the demand that has been placed on it. Cost of owning a home has increased as well. So that plan that we had in the 1970s, when we were looking for investors, we have to rethink that now and say, is that really the path that we want to continue on?
No, we reached the acme of that plan. All right, we reached the acme of that plan. And now what that plan has done is taken us over, because now we've seen people are being displaced from their neighborhoods. When you hear that a 10-story hotel is going to be built on Gorin Avenue, what happened to those people who live there? What are they going to do with a 10-story hotel in the middle of their neighborhood? And not only that, what these wealthy, multi-millionaire people are doing is buying out the neighborhoods and are making the acquisition of a home a place to live. It's so expensive that you can't live there anymore. And so what are you going to do? And when the government does not have the properties that they can that they can say, well, we have the land that we can reserve it for the Caymanian people. Cayman is not a place where most, like Turks and Caicos and all those places, some of those places where 3/4 of the land is owned by the government. Most of Cayman land is owned here by private private people, and so that's a problem. And if you keep allowing all of these wealthy, rich, multi-millionaire people to come, like what their guy is doing in West Bay, to build an apartment that costs $1 million. How many people in West Bay can buy one of those? Or even from Bodden Town can go to West Bay to live there, or from Northside can go to West Bay to live there. Those things have to be revisited, and we have to look at those things again, and we have to pass the kind of legislation that's going to bring an equilibrium in the process, because otherwise we're going to have this conundrum that's going to continue from one generation to the next. And you know what happens? You know what happens when that happens?
Well, we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that because we're hearing it. You hear people call out and now and talking about one word that people need to be mindful of. Something called it's a tongue twister. Gentrification.
Yes.
My friend in New York, talking to him the other day, and he was telling me about places on Fulton Street, and Franklin Avenue and places like that.
Nostrand and Franklin, yes.
He said where you used to have the little stores, nothing but high-rise apartments now. The people who used to live in Brooklyn before can't afford the rents anymore. We're seeing the same thing happening in the Cayman Islands, and our leaders need to listen to what people are saying, because when we stick our head in the sand and we deny that something is happening, when the realization comes about, it is usually too late. 2 callers, let's grab the callers. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, my friend? Been quiet recently.
No, I'm not quiet. I look and I see him. I like this train of thought that you people are on right there. Good morning, Dr. McPhee.
Good morning, ma'am.
And I wonder if this is exclusive, and I really don't even want to veer off of this. I gotta call you later, son. I'll call you later. I'll call you later. I won't leave this alone. This is a great topic, and we need the ventilation of it. So I can leave that one alone for the time being. I'll call you next time.
Okay. Let's grab the next caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C., and good morning to the doctor.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, just tune in to hear Dr. McField, a lady mention rounding up people that don't have no business on island. And I heard my good friend made reference that would not look good on the international scene. I'm kind of shocked, surprised hearing that coming from him. I just noticed on Al Jazeera where hundreds of people swim across a channel to get from Morocco to, I don't know whether it was Spain or where, and they're now being rounded up to put on the ferry to take them back.
But that's a different story.
Right? So let's not talk about don't look good on the international scene. If you have no business here, you got to go. Some of the people shouldn't have been here in the first place.
But like Doc said, that's a different situation because those are illegal migrants trying to get to Europe.
Well, listen. If you do not have no business, if your business here has expired, every work permit that have been issued have an expiry date. We got to get out of this stigma about we are here for 9 years just because the rollover policy allows you to be here for 9 years. Every work permit that have been issued have an expiry date. We got to remember that. So anything about repatriation, I remember talking to you, Ossie, on this same show concerning repatriation. And I told you, and you said, yeah, but they pay a repatriation fee. And I made mention that it could not take you back to Cayman.
Well, they pay it, but the employer is still responsible for repatriation. So whatever the government calls it, they never use it for repatriation.
Yeah, but if the government, they're responsible, but who's enforcing it? There's nothing that's being enforced. Or see, everything is being put in place. Laws are being put in place, but there's no enforcement.
But I'm not aware. I'm not aware of the government paying to repatriate someone unless they're being deported.
Deported, yes.
Yeah. But that's why a lot of people are here now because the government are not repatriating them, and the employer is hiding from them. So the people are just running around here getting little part time here and there. Because I was told by individual that it's better for them to be here, catching one and missing two, than to go back to their country.
Well, we know that some of the places that they have come from is really, really, really bad off, and it's better to be in a country where at least they're getting food and shelter than to having none at all and not hardly eating. That's a fact. But if someone has come here and have been working here, and now they become unemployed, there has to be someone who is responsible for sending them back if they have no money for their tickets.
And that's the employer.
And that's the employer.
Repatriation fee.
Yes, I agree with you.
Put it back in place. It was in place before.
I agree.
Put it back in place. What's wrong with it?
But it's not the fee. It is not the lack of a fee that is stopping people from going back home. They just simply don't want to go. The employer's responsible. Caller, what we have to do. Caller, what we have to do. Right. The work permits are issued to an employer. We have to hold that employer responsible for surrendering that work permit if they have no work for their employee.
Without sending the person home.
Yes. So when we got to start doing that?
Well, we have a new administration now.
Let's jump off this now. When I got much time, I put on it today. Cars. The importation.
Yeah, because you forgot that last. Forgot that last week.
Yes. You got that last week. But you don't know the numbers.
Okay.
For the last 6 weeks, I got the numbers over 900.
Wow.
Domestic. Listen now. It's not like the nice American Oldsmobile and thing that we used to get that last forever. You know, these are domestic cars coming out of Japan that cannot re-enter their system. Cannot go back on their roads. You get into the car and speak Japanese to you. The only station it can pick up is the station that I'm talking to right now. This particular frequency can't pick up the other one.
Yes.
I don't know whether you got something to do with that, OC. It can only pick up the talk show. It can't pick up no other radio station.
Wow.
These cars are domestic cars, and we are now a dumping ground.
Well,
These domestic cars.
the past administration, we had a committee that was established to make recommendations. We would hope that this current administration, rather than reinventing
the wheel,
will
grab those,
look and see what can be extrapolated from those recommendations. But we need to get things moving. We need to start because if 900 are here now, I'm sure there's another 900 waiting to come.
900 came in 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
They come in by 280 at a time. Sometime.
Yeah.
What you need to do, compare the income we get, custom gets from that, to the cost of building quarter mile of a road.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sir, we are. I'm afraid that we're going to have to start thinking about tolling some roads to pay for infrastructure, because you can't have all of these cars on the roads and then there's no money to build infrastructure. And we're going to have to start looking about tolling and probably overhead bridges at some point in time.
Overhead bridges to accommodate cars that shouldn't be on the island in the first place.
Well, it's one or the other.
On an easy.
Now, caller, we know that you are in a know to a certain extent, and you may or may not be able to tell us a whole lot. But some people are saying now that the government has had sufficient time, or at least some time, to get their feet on the ground. And when are we going to hear something substantive from them in terms policy-wise? 2 weeks ago, we had a press briefing in relation to COVID-19, and what was happening with that. People are quite happy with that, but there are many other pressing issues that need to be addressed.
And since you are the kingmaker, and since you are the great kingmaker, we would like to know.
Well, listen. I don't know if the government knows this, but I mentioned to two MPs, ministers actually, there's more pressure on you guys now than it was on the government that went out.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of things that people was disenchanted with that they want fixed. Now they're elected a new government and they throw it in your lap on a better start running.
Yeah.
And they need to hit the ground running. They need to start getting things done because it's more pressure on them that the governor that just went out. So
good point.
Yeah, and and in Cayman you can become very unpopular real quick.
Yeah,
I know.
People get tired with the photo ops after a while. The photo ops,
and the visits here and there.
So we just keeping our fingers crossed and hope they start making some public statements of what is in the pipeline and what they have decided to jump on first, because there's quite a few things that they have to address, like now.
Have they started reorganizing, or if they are going to reorganize boards and so forth?
Well, I think that's in the making now.
Someone mentioned to me this morning that some moves had already been made with Port Authority. I don't know if that's.
That's in the making, and a lot of the ministers have been touring the different departments. I witnessed that for a fact.
Okay. Yeah. So, caller, do you believe, maybe, in the UK, right, that the government has privatized certain things like detention?
Yes.
Maybe the government should privatize the rounding up of illegal persons who are here illegally.
Yes.
Give the names, provide the names, give out contracts to companies and provide you with names of people who are here illegally, and you get paid to pick them up.
Well, see, I think we'll probably get paid for the information, but we wouldn't. I don't think it'll go any further, because I know for a fact that lots of information have been given to the departments, and nothing have been done. I was told by officers that as soon as you do this or do that, they run and get a lawyer. I was told by a board member of the PR that you getting these agencies now that is on island are submitting applications for PR where the person will got 40 points and 60 points. You know what that's for, right? So they can prolong their time here because it's a backup, right? But they know that they don't qualify because it's 110 points.
Yeah, it's a frivolous
It's a frivolous
submitting that. And guess what? When
it's a hollow application.
Board now turns it down, when their board turns it down, they submit an appeal. Should that be should that qualify for an appeal, Mr. OC? If it shows for a fact that you don't have that 60 points or 40 points, and you're not eligible to even apply. When you submit it, when it's being submitted there and then, like how sometimes you submit a work permit and the girl that we submitted to will just flip through it, and she say, oh, you're short of accommodation form, you're short of this and that, and give it back to you there and then. I think that should be implemented in applying for PR too.
Good point. We're going to ask you to leave us there. Gone 10 minutes beyond, 5 minutes beyond our commercial break. Thank you very much. We'll talk some more. Good topics there, folks. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
I grew up in a Canadian village with a general store that had just about anything you could ever need. That's what I'm reminded of every time I go into West Bay Pharmacy. It's not just because it's well stocked with necessities and oddities, but also because it's like our community hub. The staff treat customers like friends. Ron and the team of pharmacists have kept my family patched up and flu-free for years, and there are usually a few good laughs mixed in. They are truly taking care of my health and my family's health. West Bay Pharmacy is the very best of Cayman kind.
When I was growing up in Cayman, Sundays was always a big day for our family. Everyone would go to Granny's house for Sunday dinner after church. Even today, I can still smell the aroma of all the delicious food we used to eat, especially the hot, fresh baked bread smothered in butter, topped off with our favorite pan cheese. These days, I don't have enough time to cook and bake, but I do my best to carry on the Sunday tradition of family meals, and being able to get hot, fresh bread with no preservatives or additives from Caribbean Bakery is a big help for me. Shh, don't tell them, they still think I baked it. Caribbean Bakery, now delivering every Sunday to McGrath's grocery store in Eastern Avenue and Marina Drive. Caribbean Bakery, made Cayman fresh.
Hi, I'm remodeling our bathroom. I have a few questions.
Sure.
What are some ideas to make my bathroom feel larger? How do I know if I'm picking the right vanity? How do I choose a new toilet or a new countertop? Also, the lighting is terrible. Can I put a window or a skylight? And do I really need an exhaust fan?
You've come to the right place. At Brand Source, we custom design kitchen and baths, and our talented design team can help answer your questions. Whether you're looking for a modern, functional family bathroom or a luxurious personal retreat, we'll help create that beautiful space that makes your home yours. And if you're in a rush for a new look and have a limited budget, our ready-to-install bathroom vanities, built with solid wood and countertops of the finest materials, are a quick and easy remodeling solution.
For the very best in custom-designed kitchens and baths, visit Brand Source Home Gallery on Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, Cayman's Kitchen and Bath Center.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. My pleasure to have in the studio with me Dr. Steve Macfield. We have 4 callers queued up, so we're going to ask everyone to please be as brief as possible. Probably won't have the flexibility of giving each of you as much time as we gave the previous caller. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller. Welcome to For the Record. Next caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. OC.
Good morning, sir.
Dr. Steve.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, I didn't know if I was on the line or not. Or on the radio, I should say. Morning to you, 2 intellectual giants. And we learn a lot from you all. So I know I won't have the time to say what I really wanted to say. I'll call back Friday and do some of it. But a lot of what we're talking about there it's just one word if you really think about it. Think carefully about all the things that people called in and talked about and very important things and so forth. one word, courage.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Courage. It's a very, very important word. When Sir Winston Churchill coined that, and he said, courage is the first of all human qualities. It guarantees all the others. And that is so important now and before and so forth. It's easy for us to blame previous governments and blame this government and blame government. At least we're here. They're saying they're going to continue with that important policy of the last administration with the COVID thing because, in my opinion, which is a very small, humble one coming from a half idiot, to get over this COVID issue or get to a point, and we won't be over it for years, but to get to a point where we're getting back to some semblance of normalcy should be the main focus right now. The other things are very, very important, but we've got to see how we come out of this, how we organize things for the new government and the opposition with them also, because right now we have a very organized opposition, which it didn't have before. None of us can say we did. It's very organized, and they all got their seats back. When you think about it, the parties here, they got their seats. They were returned into their seats and talking about the shadow government and so that will keep things, on your toes. You'll be there for the government. What we can do with the car issue, I've said it before, it's simple. No importation of no cars by nobody for 2 years. That's so very simple. You can't drive a 2-year-old car. You can extend those warranties that are here now.
But you're talking about individual importation as opposed, what about the dealers that are, dealerships that are here?
Even the dealers, I'd put a moratorium. You see, remember what I started? I said, we would put a moratorium on them also, 2-year moratorium, and except they have to replace something because of a warranty defect, which is very, very rare to replace a whole vehicle. It can be for 2 years or even a year, and no individual importation. That must end permanently. It must end. We cannot keep building roads. We don't have the land to keep building roads for this. And then also, I agree with you, Dr. Macfield, about the toll system. That should be put in place. People had suggested it a long time ago, but there are many little things we can do. But remember, when we keep comparing ourselves to other countries, I got lambasted for this many times, but I said we have got to take a look at now some form of direct income tax. If it's a health tax, pension tax, or an unemployment compensation tax, because the pensions were used as an unemployment payment. Let us be very frank and factual. That's what it turned out to be, the private pension system.
Yes, that's what it is. And also the gratuitous payment, too.
Yes.
That they're getting, especially the tourist workers.
Yes. So I just say, listen on to what you all have to say, but if you remember that word, I said courage, because you're not going to get anything that's going to painfully affect people for a little while. Everything is painful, pulling a tooth, but then it helps in the long run.
Yes.
But
no pain, no gain.
No pain. Yes.
Thank you very much for giving me the time.
Thank you very much, caller. Ms. Susan? Other callers still? Next caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello again.
Hello again.
Your friends, them that beating you up. Guys, I was going to ask him, to entertain us on his on public holidays and stuff like that, that we wouldn't be home facing a gap, not getting any information. But on his killing him this morning, I really don't know what to tell him. especially the one from Tawinda there. I was going to ask him, but I know he got to tell me, and I'm going to ask him again. I'm not going to ask him again. And I won't make him breathe this morning. Son, I don't know how you can get home. Bye. Have a nice day.
Take care. One more caller, Ms. Susan. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Yeah, good morning. Robert speaking. I'm here. Mr. Doc, right? Apparently, you're aware that this corona been over century, right? And the COVID-19, it's a modified strain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And what I call about now, it's a wake-up call. It's been almost a year and a half, no? Right? And 18 months.
Getting close.
And apparently, here to beat now. The president of this government now, they're very well experienced, right? And the shadow government, the mirror line, they're watching it carefully. Understand?
Mm-hmm.
The shadow government, and whatever price or comprise, I mean, with the border open up, certain business can be stagnant, sort of way. So I hope we learn from this last 18 months.
Yeah.
What I did. If we learn from that, a wake-up call.
Mm-hmm.
And after this, Mr. O.C., the herb ticket, it needs recognition. The she way play over, she played out, right? And all the countries considering it. But I don't want to hear.
Okay.
And 2 weeks ago, you talked about a certain convention from the 60s.
That we are party to, yes, yes.
So, all that. That could be modernized now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we would have to get over that hurdle. We have to look at how we get over that hurdle, yes.
Okay. Gentlemen, I'm good.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, our emails. This person says, am I correct in thinking that the law regarding persons from overseas purchasing land and properties in the Cayman Islands needs to change? They go on to say, we need to stop what is going on in our neighborhoods, saying we need the money and the numbers of overseas persons here is not good enough. It is high time that the Caymanian people are again protected, quote unquote protected. We are a dying species. It is not too far-fetched to say that the United Nations needs to give us protective status in our own country. What that person has written there is something that is real, can really, really happen. What we're also seeing that I would add to this is Caymanians now are becoming more vocal. Now, in this regard. Now, maybe before they weren't as vocal because they didn't have all of the avenues to express themselves. It was either writing a letter to the editor in a newspaper or the talk show. If there were either no talk shows at one point in time, or if there were talk shows, they certainly didn't accommodate this type of discussion and garner this sort of reaction that a lot of talk shows are being able to attract these days. But it is becoming real.
Of course.
And while we try to avoid the us and them situation, I believe that it is unavoidable. My reasons for believing that it is unavoidable is because that we are not tracking in the same directions. The haves are tracking one way and they want to have more and they have the ability to invest and to buy more. The have-nots, their numbers are increasing and what is available to them is decreasing as well. And unfortunately, in most instances, the haves are non-Caymanians and the have-nots are Caymanians.
And when you look at the statistics all over the world now, mostly the statistics say that during this whole COVID pandemic, that the haves have multiplied their what they have 3 times as much. So when you apply that to the Cayman here, it's the same. You can see the same thing happening here. the proliferation of apartment buildings and the proliferation of land acquisition, for them to do the investments here, for the Caymanians to have to buy from them, and they set the pace. And so what we have now, Caymanians have got off for the veranda politics, and now they're on the radio, they're on the airwaves now, and they're speaking out, because now the old time way where they said be seen and not heard, that is all gone passé. And the problem now that we have is that the Caymanians are speaking out now, and they're standing up now because it's hurting all of them. Before it only hurt one group of people. For instance, the minimum wage only hurt one group of people, now is hurting a whole lot of people. A whole lot of people who saw themselves better off now or worse off now. All the middle class mostly are gone. And what they're doing now is that a lot, thousands of Caymanians now are in the same class. And you know what that class is? What they say Connor was in Mobile.
Yep. Okay, with that, we're going to take a commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. The conversation with Dr. Steve Macfield will continue after this short commercial break.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
The Green Turtle app. So many options. One easy solution. All new subscription feature to automate your weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly top-up. Makes your life easier. Never lose a number again. Keep your children on budget. Yes. Make sure you can stay in touch with your loved one. Woohoo. No hassles. Green Turtle makes it easy. Take a ride on Cayman's Green Turtle Express. Download the Green Turtle app today. It just makes life easier. Remember, you can get mobile gift cards for Xbox, PlayStation, Apple, and Spotify delivered right to your phone. Playtime is now in real time.
It's time to buy smart. It's time to buy Ropers. Find everything for your home and kitchen at low prices at Ropers, your neighborhood store. Value, integrity. Ropers also offers complete janitorial service for commercial, industrial, and residential. They get the job done right every time. 122 Industrial Way, 949-2511, or email janitorial@ropers.ky. Clean up your spending with Ropers and stay prepared. 949-2511. Ropers, providing products and services for better public health.
Hey Cayman, are you a young Caymanian lady between the ages of 18 and 27 and looking for a platform to bring opportunities and amazing experiences into your life? Then the Miss Cayman Islands Universe Pageant is the gateway to your future. Applications can be completed and submitted on our website at www.misscaymanislandsuniverse.com. Deadline for registration is May 25th. Good luck on your journey to the crown.
For the record with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. And I'm joined in the studio by Dr. Steve Macfield, who's been here since 7:30 this morning as well. One of our listeners has written two messages, and I'm going to read both of them because I had them holding in my hand on the phone for quite a while. This one says, good morning. How can stranded people get to their home countries if Cayman's borders are closed due to travel restrictions? And several of these home countries are also in various phases of lockdown, which is true. That has to be accepted. And then they go on to say, good morning. What has happened to work, WORC, with the transition of Mr. Jeremy Scott back to his old job at the department? Does this signal, as predicted, that a change in name only from immigration to work will not work. Good use.
Yes,
That's a good use of words there.
Yes, good metaphor there.
Right? Without fundamental changes in structure and policy for immigration and human capital development by the Cayman Islands government. So they would like some comments on that. Of course, the policy initiatives have to be taken by the government, and we have seen the alignment of portfolios in such a way that Labor now has, fallen under the Deputy Premier and Minister of Finance. I believe that has.
Yes,
if I'm correct.
Well, just let me for the caller, was it the WhatsApp message or messenger? The message?
Yep.
I have left Canada now for quite a while. But let me just share with them my experience when I was there. I did work for some organization called Vancouver Council of Christians and Jews. And I was a counselor in the immigration department in Vancouver. They have something called a Canadianization program. When you to get a work permit, most of the jobs, the local jobs, are registered with the Department of Labor, they call it Department of Manpower. So if I want to find a job, I go down to the labor hall. There's a huge board, not on some computer. There's a huge board with the job, with a number. And I look at the board and I says, well, I would like to have that clerk job. And that clerk job is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, blah, blah, blah. I go to the desk. There's a desk there in little cubicles, and I fill out the application form with that number. And I take it there and I give it in, and I'm called for an interview. They would come to people like me. And I would interview them 10, 15, 20 minutes or so. And I would then let them know where that job is. That job is out in Coquitlam or in Nanaimo or someplace like that. And then I would fill out the form and send them out to the employer. The employer is asking for a first-class carpenter. Well, when he goes on the jobs, the employer will try him, and he finds out that the person that we send is not a first-class carpenter. And we'll go back and say, we can't hire him because he's not a first-class carpenter. We would probably send somebody else that we think is a first-class carpenter. The employer says no. The employer would then have to apply to us for the permission to bring a first-class carpenter from, say, Trinidad or Jamaica or someplace, Philippines or someplace. That will go before the committee in the organization, and then they would give the employer a certificate to hire a first-class carpenter, in which the governor would take to the immigration department to let that person in to come to Canada to be a first-class carpenter with him. That's how it works.
So you exhaust all of your local...
You exhaust all
local remedies
first. And all jobs are on that board in the morning. People go there and they go to the board and they see, and they can go right away and get a ticket, they call it, to go out to the job, to make the application to the employer. The employer has to register the job with the Department of Manpower.
Got you. Okay, we have two callers. Let's grab first caller. Good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Interesting conversation again, and good to know that we can get back to some real constructive dialogue. I think that it's quite obvious that what Steve is talking about, and at least to me, and in fact, he's been talking about it more than 40 years now, and it doesn't seem like anybody really wants to listen. And it is very unfortunate that we get young people who were elected with a mandate from the people for change, and they did not feel that change could come through the political parties. And the reason I believe for this, that change does not come through the political parties, is because the political parties are only the agents of the elite, and that they have been able to successfully win elections because of the money that they have used that is donated by the elite to win back the power for the elite and not for the masses. It is unfortunate that even when the people scramble in the elections to get as many independents elected as possible in order to have a different approach to governance, that we end up with what seems to be the same kind of governance. And this is because when they're elected, they are making decisions based upon their own personal interests. When they choose cabinet, when they choose how they divide power among themselves, rather than how the power should be redistributed among the people. And so their first consideration is self, and then the next consideration is the people that they will serve, which is not the people, the masses, but the elite. And to try to pretend that they're not serving the elite after these many years of the people having the same results after each election is to be really sort of dishonest. Because when we see, as Steve was saying this morning, that they go to speak to the people in tourism about jobs for Caymanians in this particular way, when I read it, I was reading something that was not written by people that I know. It was written by the bureaucrats in the civil service that are there to protect the interests of the British Crown and not the interests of the Caymanian people. Now, if you are going to ask them to do something, as Steve said, that they have not done over all these years, now you're trying to what? What are you trying to do? You're trying to tell us that you're going to be any different than the government was before? What are you going to do different? You're going to go and say we're going to go back to the same people they get right back to because, well, they didn't do it right. Sure, they wanted to do good for Caymanians too. There was nothing wrong with their intention. What was wrong was their strategy. They relied upon information and they relied upon language that was used traditionally to stagnate and to stifle the desires and the needs of the Caymanian people. The Caymanian people are people that are not conscious politically. They're not conscious sociologically. They're not conscious in terms of the world and how it's structured and the power relationships between people, especially in commercial societies. And so they've been taken for a ride, and they're still being taken for a ride. And I'm not saying it's because of the bad intentions of the Caymanian politicians, but it's a lot of their unwillingness or their unwillingness to listen, to experience, to look at their own history, to look at their own political history and development over the last 40 years. For instance, things could be corrected, but it's not going to be corrected if there's never a useful, constructive dialogue between the players in politics, because the only thing they discuss is their individual interest in terms of who's going to get this position and who's going to support who and where they're going to get the financial support from and how they have to behave to get that support. Those are the sorts of things that they discuss. But they have to begin to discuss the relationship between leadership and the people. And the relationship between leadership and the people will never be successfully developed if there's not political party structures, if there's not civic organizations like unions and trade societies and other types of societies. We cannot survive as a political unit if we're only about churches and Masonic lodges and Lions clubs and Rotary clubs. We need the people who are crying out for change who need better wages and better living conditions, affordable housing, and so forth, to be organized, to be encouraged to be organized and not hindered from being organized. When we have the majority of our educated people that our resources have spent for, have paid for, in prison mentally, in the civil service, where they know better, but they can't do better because of the directive that is coming from the crown, from the crown government. Now, we have to understand that if these new generation of politicians are to do anything, they must give people the ability to organize. They must give people the ability to get the job. They must give people the ability to be trained. And they will only do this by empowering the people to empower themselves. It is a shame that this discussion is going to begin anew, bartering for the rights that belong to you. Come on. And I don't believe that sent a good signal. I see people putting themselves in positions to do what? To continue a discussion that Arlen and them exhausted. And it wasn't because they had bad intentions for the people. They got caught in the same trap. When they get to the glass house, they already have programs and policies for them. They never came with no advisors. They never came with no party directive. Like, I mean, come on. Sensible people must know government can't work that way. Let them read a little history, please. Doc. Thank you, Steve, for continuing to enlighten us.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that, Doc. Ms. Susan, we have to take a break, right? We still have one break to take, and we have about 10 minutes left. So let's take that break now. We're not going to have a whole lot of time left after that. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
The Green Turtle app. So many options. One easy solution. All new subscription feature to automate your weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly top-up. Makes your life easier. Never lose a number again. Keep your children on budget. Yes. Make sure you can stay in touch with your loved one. Woohoo. No hassles. Green Turtle makes it easy. Take a ride on Cayman's Green Turtle Express. Download the Green Turtle app today. It just makes life easier. Remember, you can get mobile gift cards for Xbox, PlayStation, Apple, and Spotify delivered right to your phone. Playtime is now in real time.
Did you know that defective airbags can cause serious injury or even death if not repaired immediately? Right now, millions of vehicles around the world are under recall for faulty Takata airbags, and yours could be one of them. At Vant Motors, our priority is to make sure the Toyota or Ford you drive is safe. So we are offering customers a free, fast, and easy airbag swap out if your vehicle was manufactured in 2016 or earlier. Find out if you need to have new airbags installed by emailing your Ford or Toyota vehicle's VIN or vehicle identification number to service@vantmotors.com or stop by Vamp's Service Center or call us at 949-2245. Don't risk it. Get the airbags in your Toyota or Ford checked for free at Vant Motors on Walkers Road.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
Honey, our fridge has stopped working again. Everything in the freezer is melting. We need to get this repaired right away. I'm calling Brand Source Service.
When you need the very best appliance service, call Brand Source Service at 623-5000. Offering service and installation of all brands and models of appliances. Brand Source Service is Cayman's source for appliance parts and repairs with qualified and experienced technicians and the island's largest stock of appliance parts. Brand Source Service will have your repair completed in a flash. So, whatever the problem is, call the experts at 623-5000. Brand Source Service, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Telephone 623-5000.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Orit Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. No calls, so we're going to have to close the phone lines off, Miss Susan. We only have about 7 minutes left, and I have several WhatsApp messages here, but I'll basically try to summarize them. One has to do with a person is questioning, how does land valuation work in the Cayman Islands? Who determines, the value of it? I'll get Dr. McField to talk about that. Also, several messages in relation to an explanation of what this $200 repatriation fee that the government is collecting, but when it comes time for a person to be repatriated, especially when it is a dead body as opposed to a live person, that they're being told by the government that it isn't for that purpose. I think that is something that the government needs to look at and maybe call it something other than a repatriation fee, because that's not what it is. And then the other observation that we had one that spoke about using tribunals or administrators, something that you and I spoke about off the air in relation to dealing with these appeals. And let's start with that one first in relation to the appeals. We heard a caller explain to us how people who know that they simply do not qualify in enough respects to be granted permanent residence but submit their application irrespective of that, and mainly on the basis that they have been here for the required number of years, but when it comes to everything else, they don't come anywhere near acquiring the points. How can that be addressed without and stopping people from gaming the system? There must be some way for the government, and I'm not talking about this government in particular, or even for the civil servants to recommend how we go about plugging these loopholes that are there. We know in the court system there are times when a judge will determine whether or not an appeal will be heard.
And we had an example of that in the Privy Council case of the port referendum case, where we had the Privy Council, the highest court, saying there was no merit in the appeal and they would not hear it. We should exercise the same kind of jurisdiction here. First thing, I believe that instead of having a group of people who hit in these tribunals, there should be a judge in the tribunals. There should be a judge, and there should be a judge in the immigration system too. I don't think that these matters should be heard in the summary court. And in court, there should be an immigration judge that heads these tribunals. For one thing, what it would do, it would bring about precedents that I could look at as a lawyer, you could look at as a lawyer, and say this case follows this precedent here, and so forth. There should be a screening process before it gets to the judge, the appeal judge, the immigration appeals judge. That hit the clerks or someone in that department could say this appeal has no merit, and therefore we're not sending it up to waste time and to have somebody on the island 10, 15, 20 years waiting for an appeal to be heard. That process has to stop. And not only would we have precedents like in the Grand Court or in the Summary Court, you'd have precedents that you could go to a book, you could go to a report and see what happened in a case similar to the one that I have or to one that you have, and you can say you could advise your clients that I don't believe that your case, or following precedent, your case has no precedence, and then therefore I would not advance your case any further. That's one way of doing it. I have been preaching for immigration judge for such a long time. For such a long time. The immigration should have their own judge, and they should have their own detention center. They shouldn't be sending people to northward and all those places and in a lockup.
Same way that we have a traffic court.
The same way they have a traffic court. They should have an immigration court, which is separate magistrate's court.
And you're right about that. I mean, from the 90s when I was in immigration, I remember you talking to me about that.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right. That's one way to deal with that. That's
Okay.
one way to deal with that.
Okay, well, while you have the mic, we still have about 1 minute left. I'll give you an opportunity for some closing comments. I know we didn't get an opportunity to touch on some of the things that we want to talk about, but what was important is what they out there want to talk about.
Yes,
because,
I would like to come back to where I started.
Mhm.
To say that, in my opinion, if I was elected with the mandate that the present administration is elected, and bearing in mind that it's the cabinet that sets the pace, that brings the laws, that interprets what the electorate has demonstrated on the platforms, on the political platforms, I would not be asking these people what what should be done for the Caymanian people. I would bring my legislation and say, here is my legislation for a livable minimum wage. And here is my legislation of how I believe that you should conduct the employment of Caymanians.
Because we have tried the other way before and that hasn't worked. So why go down the same road?
That hasn't worked. That's what I would be doing. I would not be sitting down to them asking their permission or for hiring people. Here it is. If you want to do that, you can stay. You can hire them, or we're not going to grant you the permission to bring someone from Nepal, or from India, or from some other place. Here is the rules that you have to live by, and that you have to conduct the business that we say, because we have the right to say who comes here and who enters in the Cayman Islands. Bear in mind that we want the best for the Cayman Islands as far as development is concerned, but here are the rules in which you are going to play by. Here are the regulations in which we expect you to obey. Just like how they have it on the road. On the road. When I go on the road, here's the rules of driving that I have to obey by. It should be the same thing. In immigration should be nothing more and nothing less.
Okay, Doc. With that, I want to thank you for being here this morning. I want to thank all the folks who have chosen to call in, share their viewpoints with us as well. I also want to remind you that we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to a worthy charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want or even those who crave. So I say to you, have a great day. Continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. Join Sterling Dwayne Banks at 12:15 for Talk Today. And also, if you are a civil servant and you want to talk about, you want to either get the COVID-19 vaccine, or if you want to just talk to a health professional, you can do so at the Civil Service Vaccine Clinic. That is being held today from 9 until 12 noon. In the government administration building, in their cafeteria there at the government administration building as well. So, folks, please stay safe. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Caribbean Bakery, made Cayman fresh.
Also brought to you by Ropers Enterprises, 122 Industrial Way. Products and services for better public health. Green Turtle. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today. The Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure, and by West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international.